All right, so welcome to my new home, Flying J, near Kinley, North Carolina. This is my new home for now because I am coming back from Okeechobee. Probably one of the worst fishing trips I've ever been on. Just literally, guys, horrible in so many aspects, and yet I'm still smiling, yet I'm still having a good time. I'm stuck on the side of the road, kind of. I'm here at, like I said, Kinley, North Carolina, Flying J. And I'm gonna recap this whole trip for you right here, right now, as I'm just standing around waiting on roadside assistance. For some reason, I cannot get this tire off of there. I don't know if it's just welded on there. I'm just kidding, I know it's not welded on there. But it might be rusted on there so bad that I can't get it off. This is the first time I've ever had to call roadside assistance. But you know what? There are so many things that just went horribly wrong with this trip. And I still had a good time. I still learned stuff. Didn't learn a whole bunch of things. Pretty sure this big motorcycle group's gonna roll right in here and probably stop right by me. Of course they would. That's exactly how this trip's going. This is just that lesson in life. You keep going, you keep striving, you don't back up, you don't back down, you keep doing what you need to do to get to where you want to go. And there are gonna be so many trips back home from tournaments like this. I remember watching Gerald Swindell talk about traveling back from California all the way back to his home.
I'd like to introduce the 2004 Angler of the Year, Gerald Swindell. Crowd goes crazy. That's right, I'm dancing with a donut, son. I got me nothing. So this sport is like this. So bass fishing is this huge ride of emotions. And to watch guys overcome that, I look at the younger generation and I say, are you truly prepared to do that? This is not all TV and cameras. I said, and I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm trying to lay the foundation to say, to be the next Jordan Lee, or to be the next Ike and Nelly, or whoever you want to be like, or whatever you see yourself being, it's not just honeys and butterflies. There's a lot of butt whippings. I tell everybody the Elite Series are famous cooks. They said, cooks? I said, yep. They cook humble pie every day and they serve it to you in a big splatter spoon when you weigh in. And they got you a big cup of shut-up juice to drink it with on the way home, because you just lost $20,000 and got pummeled and you was catching them. I said, this is the most humbling sport you will ever play, because we all envision ourselves catching them and being winners on that particular day, and you come in and somebody's outfished you. You got to suck it up and say, good job. Good job. Where's my humble pie? I'd like to get me a piece of that on the way out of here. I mean, I drove to California last year. I drove 51 hours to eat me some humble pie. 2 days, 2 back-to-back weeks I filled up on humble pie. Settled in at about 72nd place. That's a long 50-hour drive home. Tapping on the steering wheel going, yeah, boy, you had them figured out, didn't you? That guy's got to drive 50 hours home and get out of the truck, and that day's over and he's got to start all over. Do you have what it takes to fight the battle? Do you have what it takes to want to be number one and work and train and fish and fish?
It's one thing after another with this trip, but again, I'm gonna keep smiling, I'm gonna keep doing what I gotta do. So let's talk about this trip, guys. You know, I was pretty excited to start getting down there earlier this week, and you know, as soon as I start making my trip down, this is what happened.
So I stopped you because, okay, in the express lanes, trailers aren't allowed. Right. Only 2 axles are allowed in express. I take it that's the first you've heard that? Okay. Yeah, only 2 axles allowed. No semi-tractor trailers, no trailers at all, really. Only 2 axles. I didn't see any signs when I was coming in, though. Yeah. I didn't know that. I always said that they should have more signs up, but if you go to the website, I'll be right back. Go look on the website, you'll see it. It tells you.
I believe it.
Okay. All right, I'll be right back.
So yeah, so I get pulled over for driving in the express lane, which I'm paying for, while people are passing me, going over the speed limit. I get pulled over and told that I'm not supposed to be in this lane with a trailer, and not something I knew. I know now. But you know, that started the week off right there. You know, didn't let it get me down. It upset me. It made me angry because I'm seeing like these people passing me. I'm like, these people are knowingly, wittingly, purposely breaking the law, and here I am just doing the speed limit. Didn't know I wasn't supposed to be here. I could exit maybe 200 yards if you just let me go, but nope, gave me a ticket, said I could show up. Like I'm gonna drive all the way back down to Fairfax, Virginia on a weekday just to sit in court. Yeah, okay, that's gonna happen. So, you know, that officer could have just easily let me go because he clearly understood that I didn't know, but oh well. You know, so we go down there, get everything set up. Week's going good, pick up my mom, super happy about that. Super happy about, you know, just spending time with her. She gets sick pretty much, and so she's just a nasally, snotty mess the whole time. You know, I feel really bad for her, but she stuck it out, man. True champion. She stuck it out. She never complained once. You know, true testament to her. Never complained once. You know, just needed to get her some drugs, get her laid up in the camper and all, and so she could recoup. You know, let's go through the week. As the week goes on, it just, you know, the fishing never got gooder. It never got better at all. And the weights reflect that, guys. The weights truly reflect how poor the fishing was. They've been doing nonstop spraying at Okeechobee, killing the grass, things that bass love. And it's unfathomable because the amount of money that bass fishing brings into areas like Sam Rayburn. I think I heard one time like Sam Rayburn alone brings in 55 million. It's either 5 million or 55 million. I'd have to look it up. But it was an insane amount of money that is brought into the local economy from bass fishing. You look at us, we all stayed 10 plus days there. So the fact that they would do something like that to their main moneymaker in that area, it's just crazy. Very crazy. But oh well, that's how it goes, you know. So the fishing just stunk, guys. You know, barely got on any bites. But I take home with me that it was tough on everybody. That it wasn't just like, oh, you know, people are still showing up, knocking them out of the park. No, major name pros blanked, you know, or only caught one fish. My boater on the first day had to throw a Ned rig to barely get 5 bites, guys. And trust me, there's probably nothing harder to follow than a Ned rig. But if I would have done it again, I probably would have stuck to my guns and thrown a drop shot all day long. If that happens again, that'll be my game plan. But I was throwing finesse too all day long. Never got a bite. Like I said, took him all day to get 5 bites for 6 pounds. 6 pounds on Okeechobee. There was no like, oh, let's just go to the normal key community holes and we'll get on fish. No, there was none of that. And the weights reflect that. Everything reflects that in those weights. That it was, I'll have to look at what the overall weights for the Costa were. You know, and here during my BFL during the first of the week, my boater fished a channel. I managed to catch 3 fish that event. That was the only kind of thing that produced a consistent bite this week, was fishing these channels. But you know what? I still had a good time. I still learned things. I still am going home with just an open mind about it. Alrighty, y'all, here with my pro, Mr. Frank Ippoletti. Make sure I say that right. I tell you, this Ranger has run smooth. We're going into a lock right now. My first time locking. You know, so both days of my Costa, you know, on the second day, I at least caught 2 fish. You know, I was able to catch 2 fish on the second day, and you know, that at least felt good because, I mean, going all week, actually I managed to catch 7 fish. I caught 4 mudfish, 4 trash fish, bowfin, grinnell, whatever you want to call them. Caught 4 of those. But you know, you can't weigh those in. In every tournament, there's always going to be somebody who finds a good pattern, somebody who knows a good spot, something like that. You know, I primarily stuck my whole week to the same northwest shore. I wanted to learn that area as best as possible because I knew that was where they were supposed to be. I knew that's where they would be. And so I tried to learn that as much as possible, and it never panned out. Some events, I know it definitely comes down to how much water you can see in a short period of time. And this one, I just wanted to stay in that one area and learn. I didn't see a reason in running the whole lake, spinning a whole bunch of gas, especially when I knew at the end of the week I was still going to be there at the mercy of whatever my boater wanted to do that day, which is, again, you always run that risk. And I know for Okeechobee in this week that I am not alone in this, that it was tough on everybody, you know. But overall, the week was just a disaster, guys. Catastrophic disaster. Tried to take my drone up, finally get some drone footage. I was like, man, I would love to have some drone footage of Lake Okeechobee. Pretty much get it up, and this is what happens. Let's go up. Oh, no! Oh well, that was weird. Battery dropped out of it. But so again, you know, that sums me up as a person too there, because even with that happening, so thus far I've got a ticket. Thus far the fishing's horrible, but you know, and now my drone's flown out of the sky, and I'm just laughing about it because there's nothing you could do. You have to take these hits with, you know, in stride. You have to just keep going. You can't back up. You can't back down. You got to stay positive, and you know, and then to top it off, the fishing just stunk. And now on the way home, here I am staying at the Flying J. Got a tire that's flat that won't come off. You know, this is part of it, guys. This is the real deal. This is unfiltered. This is tournament fishing for you. This is how it goes. And as you can see, I'm still smiling. You know, roadside assistance, they're late. They're like, oh, it's gonna be another 60 minutes. So like, it don't stop. But you know what? When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and then you sell that lemonade, guys. You sell it and you make even more money off that lemonade or something. You just got to keep going. You just got to keep staying positive. You know, on the drive back, I was talking with my mom, and you know, that's my one key thing for this week. I got to spend time with my mom. You know, a person I love immensely, person I do not get to see a lot of during the year because we're geographically dispersed. Let me tell you, you know, with her being sick, it still was a good time just having my mom, spending time, that time I just don't get. You know, if it's time that maybe you get, just know that I don't get that time. And I want you to cherish that time that you get with your parents, because a lot of people don't have them. A lot of people don't truly appreciate that time, that maybe, you know, you're always over there for Sunday dinners. I don't get that. All right, so I take this away as a positive, that hey, I got to spend time with my mom. So on the drive back from Lake Okeechobee to drop her off at the airport in Jacksonville, you know, you'll think about these things during those times. You'll think about, like, okay, what did I learn? Well, I learned how to navigate Okeechobee. I learned the different areas of Okeechobee. I saw how boaters kind of got up out of mud and stuff. My boater on the first day, heck, we stayed in a lock, and we launched out of the lock because it was so dirty that we couldn't get the boat up on plane, because they had lowered, that's another thing, they lowered the water on Okeechobee. So the water was super low, lower than it should be. This should be pretty fun. So basically you're having trouble getting on plane here. You can't get the motor down enough to get a good start. So basically gonna have to shoot on out of here. You know, on that drive back, I'm talking with my mom, and I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes I truly wonder if I want to keep on with tournament fishing, because it is such a financial outlay. Got a ticket, paid for the COSTA, paid for the BFL, paid for the lodging for the whole week, food, gas. I mean, it's probably taken me 6 to 7 tanks just to haul this whole rig down there. Now it's gonna cost me a tire. That's a lot of expense, guys. I'm not gonna lie. And I've got nothing to show for it other than this video, other than sharing the experience with you. I've got nothing to show for it. Absolutely zero, except for time well spent with my mom. And you know, you really sit and think about, should I keep doing this? Should I even try to do this? I mean, I could just stand around and make YouTube videos all day, every day. I could go to ponds and just fish, you know, but I tournament fish. And I tournament fish for me, because for me, there is no greater thrill in bass fishing than catching a fish during a tournament. I can catch fish all day long. You know, I can go to places where I'll always catch fish. But for me, it's the challenge to catch fish in a tournament environment, the challenge to go and catch a fish against other people and try to compete against other people. That's what drives me in this sport. And you know, maybe in a year or two, I might switch over and just do all YouTube all the time. But you know, I enjoy the tournament fishing aspect of it, because that thrill of catching a fish during an event is not something you can replicate without being in that situation, unless it's a 10, 11 pounder. And even then, I mean, when you start catching a 2-pounder and you get that limit of 2-pounders and you're upgrading, I mean, there is an excitement, there's an adrenaline rush that accompanies that is unlike any other, and that's why I do this. Hopefully roadside assistance gets here pretty soon. I'm gonna go inside, take a shadoobie. Hopefully we can get back on the road. I can get back to Maryland. We're gonna do a little travel for the next tournament. Actually gonna be fishing Sam Rayburn and all. All right, 2019 guys, don't back up, don't back down. You're seeing it, grassroots right here. Somebody just beginning their tournament fishing career in the FLW, BFLs, COSTAs. I got some opportunities that made themselves available because I fished last year, and I'm gonna take advantage of those opportunities too. So, you know, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay positive. Always stay positive. Y'all have a good one.